What's up, family, and welcome to the Prowl Nation Roar. I'm Queen of the Prowl, Valerie Bordeaux, and tonight with me is the founder and creator of the
Oh,
Summer Dress Fan Club, LL Cool Torrance. How you doing today, my brother?
yes. Shout out to my guys, FG Radio, and everybody involved. But when it gets warm and the sundress season, it's known as Swumble season. So if y'all familiar, Swumble season is approaching. Sorry to keep doing this.
That's all right. I just want you to know that Dan Spanos told me he is glad that his panties are safe with you. So So we got a lot to talk about tonight, family. So let's get our intro going and let's get this thing started right now. Why I keep wanting to hit that thing twice, but it is what it is, y'all. Give me a minute to get technologically advanced here. But we're gonna kick it off tonight with talking about the news surrounding our offensive line. PFF has placed the offensive line in the top five again this year. They were ranked third at this time last year. The only teams that were ranked above the Lions by the PFF are the Eagles, the Browns, the Chiefs that they faced at game one, and
Chiefs.
the Ravens. So now the offensive line altogether, the starters have not played one single snap together in the last 2 years. But they are all expected to actually play most of the snaps together finally for the very first time. And that's all going to depend upon avoiding injuries. We've got Big V coming back, expected to come back. We've got nothing official, but last year the Lions ranked 15th at 4.4 yards per carry and allowed only 24 sacks. That was the second fewest in the NFL. And where do the Lions, the rest of the NFC North, rank with PFF? Green Bay is at the 8th spot. Vikings are at the 15th. And the Bears are struggle bussing at 21. So what do you think about all of this there, LL?
Number one, fuck PFF. I don't really. But thank you, I guess. I don't. Just a couple of, I guess, quick notes. The Chiefs O line ain't that good, and they had to replace some guys. They got some good players over there though, but not saying we got the best or nothing, but fuck them. Um, I hope that it works. I hope we get to see our line together. Like you said, it's all a matter of luck and however the universe sees it. It would be great if we could, or maybe if an injury have it happen early. To where right at the beginning of the season they could be able to come back, going full force type stuff, or however, we don't need too much of that. Even though I personally like Kobe Sorsdal, you know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly where he's going to fit. I usually like my right guards and right tackles, a little bit more beefier. He's a tall, he not no little dude, but he not a great big old dude. You know what I'm saying? Like Big V is a great big old dude to me. You know what I'm saying? Like Penei Sewell is a great big old dude. Kobe Sorsdal is a great big tall guy, but he not a great big old dude. But that don't mean that he can't play the position. That's just how I normally would like him. Just to have a couple more rocks in their pocket. But I think that he'll be able to to come in and fill in if he has a fill in at either of those, spots. And again, not wishing no injury on nobody, but that's if it has to happen. He might be able to fill in at left guard or left tackle as well. Who knows? I think he's pretty good. He's the Division 2 or whatever their division is. He won a like best offensive lineman type awards and all that type of stuff. So if need be, we can have him. But to answer or to get back on topic, I would love to see the 5 guys that we've been waiting on. But I don't know how likely that is. That's gonna take a lot. Hopefully, maybe they can save them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they don't got to practice too much. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, Big V should, get a little bit of work in because he missed the whole season. But we know what Frank Ragnar gonna do. So what he know what's going on. So I don't think he, would need to be out there all the time. That kind of stuff. Not saying he don't need to be out there at all, but maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen the other franchises, players will fake retirement to miss training camp or whatever it is, or they just get preferential treatment to where they don't do nothing in training camp because they know that they're much more needed in the regular season. Like Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson wouldn't take a preseason snap. He'd go out there and run for 1,800 yards. But, so, I maybe preserve some guys, maybe if it allows, if their bodies hold up. Frank a big tough guy, so maybe he don't even care. He's like, my toe ain't gonna do nothing, ain't gonna get no worse. So whatever, I don't need that toe anyway. So maybe that's what he figured.
I don't know. There is still concern with his toe, but he's been able to play through it a lot of the time. So right. I don't know if that's going to be that much of a concern.
He played with a broke throat. That's like I hold Serena Williams real high because she won pregnant, even though. That as the old people say, you can't be a little bit pregnant. She wasn't like, 9 months or, very far along, but she did it pregnant. And I happen to have known women, during that process that it could be tough. You know what I'm saying? So he played with a broke throat. So like I said, he might like, man, take like Deion Sanders just had his toe amputated not that long ago. You might be like, cut it off. I don't need it.
Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to be a center trying to express the play when you can't talk?
Yeah.
You can't communicate with the quarterback and you're still bossing up. Yeah, that he is one of the players that you have to have mad respect for. And not that we always take into account, here at Detroit Lions and the Prowl PFF is not necessarily one of our greatest sources of things in the world, but world of sports. But this expectation that this offensive line could all gel together for the very first time is very, very huge news, especially with all of the upgrades that have been happening on the defensive side of the ball. And now you've got, some new great additions in the running back room, in the wide receiver room, and, for Goff to work with. This is something that I'm thinking that the Lions are going to be very, very dangerous on both sides of the ball if injuries do not become a factor. Now, they did do a lot of upgrades with the training facility, the nutrition program, the strength and conditioning. So, and with the field itself, that could cause injuries. So
let's take it back to the 80s and 90s. Give them some juice. Help them get back a little bit. Who cares if they need a bigger helmet?
Absolutely. So, Prowl Nation family, what are your thoughts here about this offensive line getting ready to roar for 2023? Let's see who's in the building tonight. We've got Lady Lion 20. Good evening. I think you're new to Prowl Nation, so welcome. Welcome.
I thought that might have been Nicole. What's up, Lady Lion?
It could be. She could have changed her name because Douchebaggia is no longer in existence with Aaron Rodgers. So, we've got Tony Blumenshine. We got, of course, the jazzy one, Paul Giroux. We had a great Gold members meeting. If you aren't in that Gold members meeting, you are missing out because we have a fun time. We got our Man of Steel, Kurt Steele. What up, Doe?
What up, Doe?
And we've got Kenneth Williams. I think you might be new as well. Welcome to the family.
What up, Doe?
Of course, we've got, our beloved friend who's been around for a while, Hatter's House, Detroit fan man. So, hey, thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you keep up to date, and share this content with all of your Lions fans. We are getting ready to roar into 2023, so you don't want to miss out. We got a lot of changes coming to the channel. I just want to say something real quick. I got a lot of great feedback about our new intro. I know the audio is a little off. We're fixing that, and we're going to make it better. And we are bringing in some really cool addition to the shorts. You guys are really going to love that with the whole new look. So we are heading into a very great season for the Lions. There's a lot of hype right now. I know this is Kool-Aid season, and we can't wait to see what's going on when they get into the pads and when they actually get into game time, because, hey, it's pajama time now. Things can get a little overhyped, but all things are looking good at this point. There was some big breaking news in the Lions world. One of my, like Kurt said, one of my favorite guys, hint, sarcastically, is Tracy Walker, who has now officially medically cleared for training camp. He participated in the OTAs. He made some cuts and some running during workouts in March, but he didn't fully participate, and now he's medically cleared to jump right into training camp. So what are you thinking about LL about Tracy Walker's return?
What was his injury again? Was it ACL or was it Achilles?
I believe that was an Achilles. I believe so. I believe he was the Achilles. If I'm wrong, guys, tell me in the chat. But I believe it was an Achilles.
I'm about to look it up right quick. But if it is the Achilles, I just think how far sports medicine has came, man. That's incredible. Like, I remember, back in the 90s and stuff, when I was growing up watching football, like, if a guy had Achilles especially, they would almost count you out for 2 years. Now, well, and it all depends on what happened. If you rupture it or if you tear it, if it comes all the way off, then that might hurt you a lot worse than if it tears or however it goes. I don't know the difference right now, but either way, that's incredible. I kind of thought that, I had heard, and then he was out there, and all I had heard was he was a full participant. So, that is absolutely, torn Achilles in week 3. So, I mean, damn, it is very, very quick. I think I was watching Riz and them last night or night before, whenever it was, but they was I think this is like his 7th month back from it or something like that, 8th month, something like it ain't. So that is incredible. I hope that ain't no hope because they cleared him. So let's go. We'll have a full complement of defensive backs, it seems.
Yeah, about his return, he was quoted as saying that he was happy to spend time with his family and all of that, but he really missed football, and he's glad to be back back ready to go, and ready to be a leader again, and he says their Lions are going to make a lot of noise this year.
We better.
You better. Now, I am one that says, I am glad that he is fully recovered, that he's coming back to his love of football, and he's willing to play again. But I do have concerns with all of the additions now in the safety room, whether or not how much of a leader he's going to be and where he's going to land in that roster spot with all of the competition.
He the starter. I would seem either. I feel like his role doesn't change. He's still probably the vocal leader, even though we've heard that Cam Sutton is kind of taking on that role. They play different positions. Cam on the outside. Tracy is more so, in the box and in the middle of the field. So we can have that happen. That's what you need anyway. If Cam Sutton is a great communicator, and Tracy Walker is a great communicator, I feel like that's even better. You know what I'm saying? What's better than 2 great communicators on a defense? Then what's better than 1 is having 2. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, no, I feel like he's a starter. It puts some people back in their proper place because he's like I said, he's probably like the strongest safety of them all of the bunch. He plays that box role probably better than him. He blitz probably better than all of them. That probably pushed CJGJ to a better fit for him, and that's the nickel. And it allows now to play a full three safeties if you want to. You can have Brian Branch, Tracy Walker, and your boy Kirby Joseph out there, and then you can have CJGJ covering whoever he got to cover as well. Like it just, like I said, now we have, or right now, seemingly we have a full complement of defensive backs. So again, we'll probably repeat this 100 times, or I probably will, but what was once a glaring weakness is no longer. So that's what I'm talking about. This is we ain't seen stuff like this in a great while. I don't know if I ever seen it in from my time watching the Lions. To where they keep working on that. We used to didn't have no receivers. Now that's a strong part. Unless if one of them can get some stuff straight. We obviously had arguably the worst defensive back group in the league last year, and now we probably don't. So and the turnaround was kind of quick on those things. So I think that's another thing we need to look at during all of this as well, is look at how the team is being built. And welcome back Tracy Walker, because like I said, I think he's going to be the starter, and that's his role.
Right. I'm looking at possibly. Well, I'm thinking that CJGJ and Brian Branch will be more in the slot role. You could see Kirby Joseph doing a special teams kind of thing going on in the safety position.
Special teams.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying? He's in there to do, to take over those interceptions and do those special plays and to mix things up a little bit. Okay. That's what I'm talking about with special teams kind of a thing.
Okay.
I know it's not the right terminology, but it's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, because I thought you was calling him like basically a special team. I'm like, come on now.
But I could, it's going to be like, who's going to be Tracy Walker's backup? You've got tons of guys there going on there. So Tracy Walker's got a lot to do to catch back up again. But we're excited to kind of see what he's going to be able to do in training camp. So
absolutely.
Let's see what the Prowl Nation family has to say. Now, this was funny. Now, this is not related to anything that we've talked about so far, but it is an interesting question for you, LL. And I know the answer, but I'm going to let you answer this one. I'm hyper late to the party, Detroit Fan Man says. What is LL's cat's name? I'm guessing it's something hard like Gargonzola.
You probably heard me say it is his name is Geronimo, so you are very close.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's Geronimo.
Yeah.
And he also says, I do think it's weird that Ross Persian Bro Cracker, whatever the hell that name is playing backup C with Ragnow's stale toe injury concern. I thought Glasgow was our backup C, but I guess not. It looks like he would be if Vitae comes back fully, that Glasgow will probably be his backup. Is what I'm hearing.
I don't know, but yeah, I've heard a few good things. I don't know how to pronounce that dude's last name either, but that guy, that big long word he put.
I don't even know if that's the correct last name, but I'm gonna. I did my best with that.
I know who you're talking about.
But from what the reports that I'm seeing, it looks like Glasgow is, if Big V can return and do well and kick off that rust, that Glasgow would be his backup. That's the reports that I'm hearing, but that's not anything official. So Brian Strover says, yes, Tracy's back. Brent DeWitt, glad that Tracy's back so soon. More depth in the back end. Absolutely. Paul Giroux says Tracy's cool, but is he going to hold his own?
Yeah. And now, are you asking that like out of injury concern or out of ability concern? Because the last time I checked, Tracy Walker was Tracy Walker wasn't a concern of mine, at least.
Well, I mean, Tracy Walker can hold his own, but for me, he's not an elite safety guy, but he's good at his position. I'm
I
not. I'm
feel
just not
like
saying. I'm saying there could be better,
I
but
feel like I feel like it's almost like and my bad, not to cut you off, but it's like I don't think this is him per se, but it's like players with like the Patriots or the Saints or like the Ravens or even like the 49ers. It's like they'll be a star in that role on that team. But if they go somewhere else and if they not used in almost the exact same way, then they almost look lost. You know what I'm saying? Look at Namdi Amsawam. Y'all can remember. I know I just messed his name up. My apologies, sir. But when he left playing cover 3 in Oakland and had to play bump and run in Philly, and it did not translate, and it led to him getting burnt all the time. So, you know, that was just a bad free agent signing. So, but I said all that to say, Tracy Walker, I think he's one of those guys. I think he could be a Pro Bowler in our system, in like a system like ours. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's those teams I named. If you notice, like back in the day, like Tennessee and Baltimore used to swap out players because they kind of had the same kind of mentality and knew how to use certain players. If they was good at such and such, we're gonna use you at such and such. So, you know, I think he could be one of those type of players for us. He could be. He's already been, you know, a bright spot on when our defense was not good. I think he could be a definitely solid point when our defense is a lot better.
mm-hmm. And you were talking about Cam Sutton earlier. He is actually the number 1 expected guy to make the Pro Bowl this year. So,
off our team?
yeah. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch with the cornerback situation. Brent DeWitt says Tracy Kirby and CJGJ in the nickel to start. We're going to need all hands on deck against the Chiefs.
I mean, I don't mean that in no disrespect. Please, Mr. Mahomes, because I don't want them to turn up. But I mean, they can be had now. Like they not invincible. You know what I'm saying? They can be had. You can hit Patrick Mahomes, and he'll turn the ball over. I'm not saying that all of that's gonna happen, but he can be had now. He ain't, you know, Patrick Mahomes is there, but he ain't untouchable now.
No, he's definitely not. Kurt Steele says Walker and Kirby at safety, CJ at nickel, Sutton and Jacobs at CB until Mosley is healthy. I don't think Mosley's going to end
think
up
that's
being
how
healthy.
it's gonna shake out, Kurt.
I don't see Mosley being on the field, but who knows? We'll see. Yeah, I'm still saying Brian Branch is going to show up in there somewhere. I got my feeling that, you know, Brian Branch can. Let's see, and if he could play both cornerback and safety, so what are we going to do with that?
I'm excited for Iffy this year. I'm excited. I'm rooting. I'm really rooting for Iffy. The same way I was rooting for Levi, I'm rooting for Iffy, man. I think there's gonna be a good year for him.
You know, I'm rooting for all of these guys. I know the secondary.
Anywhere in that big 6, cuz. No.
That secondary was a hot mess in every shape and form last year, so I'm really excited to see the upgrades. There were a lot of the upgrades that I really wanted to see in a lot of the positions, especially with cornerback, especially with safety, and especially with linebacker, which we might get to tonight. But that was an extra topic that I kind of came up with us. But we'll see if we can get there. But we're going to go into one of the biggest concerns. Well, I don't know if this is one of the biggest concerns, but it is a concern that has been raised as of lately, especially during OTAs and mini camp, with Jameson Williams dropping the ball. Now, Jameson Williams has battled in inconsistency in being able to catch. We know he's got the speed, and he's struggled with dropping passes when he was at Alabama. So the Lions have said that they are working on a way to help him improve his ability to catch the ball by bringing in new drills and new routines and focusing on intent and technique with before and after practice catching the balls as well in ample field repetitions. So what do you think about this whole Jameson Williams situation with being able to catch the ball?
I don't care yet. You know what I'm saying? It was widely reported that he was dropping the ball in individual drills, but then he was catching everything in team drills. So I don't care no more. Was it last year or 2 years ago? And I don't remember if it was one of them LSU receivers. It was either Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, one of them. But in the preseason, they had drop issues, and now we see that those guys don't really have any issues dropping the ball. Um, Not to say that I don't know what his hands is like because I haven't seen that much of him either. But I do know that he can catch the ball. He don't really, like you said, he had drop issues at Alabama. I don't necessarily remember that. Not saying it didn't happen. I don't remember it, but
Well, that's what was reported by some of
that's what
the
the word out
Lions
there.
news outlet. Yeah, that's the word
Okay.
outlet.
I mean, I don't know, but I don't care yet. Like I said, number one, because I ain't never really we ain't seen much of them, so I can't go by what somebody else gonna tell me. I have
And
to
we're
wait to
not
see
going to
them.
see much of him until Game 7. So,
Right now,
I'll,
here's one thing this is one thing that I don't understand, and this is why I feel like sports is dumb, and like these teams and these people and these trainers don't know what the hell they doing. Because if a player can't shoot and it's known he can't shoot, why not just put him with a shooting coach and put him on a regimen of shooting 1,000 shots a day, right?
mm-hmm.
But I guess they probably leave it up to them to do it, right? So I say all that to say we got Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? He go out and do it on his own. Don't he got like 100 or 202 or something like that, 201, whatever. He catch however many passes it is a day, so he say. Why would Jameson Williams going to do that? Or let's say if he not, maybe that ain't his thing. Maybe he go out and play catch to get his hands better. Why not put somebody? You know what I'm saying? Put that a part of his program. All right, you got yourself suspended. A part of your program to get back on, to get back in good graces on this team. Whatever, blah blah. Instead of making it wild, what I'm saying, like doing push-ups or cleaning the toilets or whatever it is. What I'm saying, to get back in our good graces. Maybe a captain to tell him, we want you to catch 200 balls a day or 150. Maybe not. I don't want to lower the number, but give him 150 balls a day. Go out and just right in front of the jugs or whatever. Catch 150 balls a day. That's not hard. You are a professional athlete. So that is your job. So you can make time to do it. So even if maybe that necessarily ain't his thing, because maybe he ain't never seen nobody do that outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Maybe he ain't never seen St. Brown do it. Maybe just, seen it on TV like we have. But the team themselves should, like I said, make that a part of this program. If he's having drop issues, change up the drills. Maybe that's what they mean. Maybe it's gonna be jugs machine drills or something. I don't know. But
well, that's what Antoine Randall L was saying, that was his focus, that he is going to be introducing these new drills and these new routines, and he's going to be focused on forcing JMO to catch the ball over and over and over again before practice, during practice, after practice. And that is one of the best ways, I mean, to get ready for a game time is when you're struggling with something, to keep practicing it over and over and over and over again. And you rely on your body memory during game time.
yeah,
So by all of that repetition, that no matter what goes on, you can shut off during game time, and that body memory of you catching it over and over and over again will kick in. So that's I think is their plan right now to address that drop concern, because like somebody else was saying, we don't want another Eric Ebron on our team.
he already not Ebron. He already
He's
better
not
than Ebron.
Ebron. We can't put Ebron in the same
Yeah,
conversation as JMO,
he
but
already better than Ebron. He only played 15 minutes. So
yeah. So practice is going to make perfect with that. But and it's also another the other issue going on with JMO as far as this dropping passes is you've got to understand that he's now working with a new quarterback, Jared Goff. And so they have to work together on their timing and their rhythm. I mean, and JMO is one of an interesting receiver that, because of that speed that he has, that can be very difficult for a quarterback to throw to hit and make it on
not
with
one
timing.
quarterback allegedly. on our roster right now.
Oh, that who are you talking
Have you
about?
heard about
Hendon Hooker?
Hendon Hooker tossing that deep ball out there?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, working with Hendon Hooker and Jared Goff and developing that timing,
Ooh.
you know,
Golf,
if you could get that deep ball going, because the deep ball was one of the biggest things that I've been bitching about
we
for
all
the
been
last
ranting
2
about it.
years. How many times? And I swear, because you have seen it in the chats when during game time, whether it be on Lions Nation Unite or in Twitter chats or Facebook chats, that I have said, don't deep pass this ball. Do not do it. I mean, but Goff was doing well with it last year, but he's not got to.
Toward the end of the season,
towards the end of the season,
Chark kind of figured it out.
Yeah. So I mean, Goff is one of those guys that it's going to take a little bit of time. I know it took a little bit of time for Stafford and Calvin Johnson to develop that chemistry, and Matthew Stafford. Yeah, Matthew Stafford. The biggest thing with Matthew Stafford is that because Calvin Johnson had the ability that he had, he would tend to try to throw it too hard, and that's where Calvin Johnson would be breaking his fingers and all of those other things. So it was overcompensation with Calvin Johnson's skill to be able to mesh with him, and it just that was kind of a difficult scenario. So you've got a little bit of
Calvin. I just want to say
situation.
this. Calvin Johnson was so good, man. I know I may have been disrespectful towards Calvin Johnson, and maybe I was, and maybe he deserved it. I don't care, but Calvin Johnson was very, very, very good, and that's saying a lot, because I've said that. Well, I've never said that he was necessarily overrated. I just said that you don't win with a quarterback and a wide receiver, and that's it, because you don't get. That's what you get. You get to the playoffs and get your ass stomped, or get a bad call against you. So. But Calvin Johnson was different. He might have been the differentest wide receiver we've ever seen.
Well, he had the reach of a 2-car garage. I mean, you don't really see that much in a wide receiver.
It's like it ain't Randy Moss. It's almost like, who can I compare it to? It ain't
You
Chris.
can't
It ain't
compare it
Chris
because
Carter.
there isn't a.
It ain't Randy Moss. Maybe it ain't. I was gonna say maybe like a Hines Ward, but not. I don't think that's a good comparison at all. I don't know, but it's like, because he liked the speed receiver, but he was built like the possession receiver. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made him, because all you had, he was the original. Fuck it, he down there somewhere. That's what Stafford he figured that part out real early. Like, I'm gonna just toss it. And that's when I hated Stafford, because he throw a lot of interceptions that way too. But
But what wide receiver can you think of that has the support system that Jameson Williams has right now, when you've got Antoine Randall L as the coach, you've got Calvin Johnson willing to be a mentor, you've got Marvin Jones wanting to be a mentor to him, you've got all of this, you've got all of this firepower behind him to get him to be in a situation where he can excel with catching the ball. There is no excuse for JMO. Once he gets on the field, there better not be an excuse for him.
I mean, Calvin Johnson didn't have the greatest hands. He would drop them here and there. You know what I'm saying? But
that was mostly for Matthew Stafford overthrowing it and crushing his hands.
Well, however you want to shake it, just for scope. He wasn't a Larry Fitzgerald. You know what I'm saying? Like Larry Fitzgerald, he didn't drop ball like he. Or like a Chris Carter, like their hands are just a little bit different. Calvin Johnson's hands were very good, but it's levels to it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like DeAndre Hopkins. Like I seen one, he jumped jumped and spent backwards and caught it like with the back of his leg. Like that's incredible. Not saying Calvin Johnson could never do nothing like that, but that's DeAndre Hopkins staple stuff right there. But I look at it like this, right? Because he got a lot of people that's can be mentors and all this other stuff, right? What if that ain't what he want? What if that ain't what he really needs? So that might could piss you off some. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, cool, I messed up, you know what I'm saying? And by all intents and purposes, the rule that now I was saying, rules is rules, you broke it, blah, blah. Now, I mean, even though I did say the rule was dumb, that rule, I feel like I agree with Coach Mike. Like he said, the NFLPA should step in because he's not suspended for being in a road, being away in a hotel and whatever in the hell. So it's a lot of fucking gray area, whatever the word. I can't figure it out right now, but like a lot of shit that just don't really, they ain't really catching in the middle of all of it all. But so, you already feel like that's bullshit. Maybe they like, oh, Calvin Johnson about to be your friend. You're like, man, who the fuck is Calvin Johnson? Like, we about to bring in Marvin Jones to be your friend. Like, man, who the fuck is Marvin Jones? Like, let me go play football. Like, if that's y'all keep saying, I ain't playing no football, right? You keep saying, you ain't seen me, right? Y'all keep saying all this negative stuff about me not being on the field, right? Just let me go play football. I don't need no new friends. I don't need Calvin Johnson. I don't need all these other guys. Now, that's just one way to look at it. He also could be like, all right, cool. Calvin Johnson, maybe he'll say that to Marvin Jones. Who the fuck is Marvin Jones? Who the fuck is Antoine Randall? But Calvin Johnson, like I said, that's a little bit different. So maybe it ain't even got to be a big bro, little bro, or mentor type of thing. It's just like, hey, at the top of your route, do a half step that way before you do the other way. And I bet you'll win every single, just maybe something like that. And that's something that you can listen to. It'll sound different because it is coming from somebody so different. Not saying that Marvin Jones and Antoine Randall aren't very good wide receivers, and played a very big role on some very good teams. I'm just saying it's gonna sound a lot. It's just like if Michael Jordan told you that you was dribbling wrong. You listen to it. If I told you was dribbling wrong, you probably won't listen. Even if I was right or wrong, you probably won't listen. It's just gonna sound different. Not saying
but I think that no matter what, these guys have proven themselves in the NFL as, elite wide receivers in their own respect, most of them. So I think it would be in JMO's best interest to take the approach internally. This is, to not take the approach of, hey, I'm not going to listen to, I'm just going to do my thing, but rather I'm going to absorb whatever I can to boost my game. There's got to be some valuable nuggets that I can glean from any one of these guys in different things to be able to boss up my game a little bit.
I don't know. He could just be like, man, leave me alone.
I don't think that's a smart move for anybody who's coming up into the NFL. I think you need to glean everything that you can from those who have walked the path before you.
What if you're right? You are not wrong. But what if letting them do whatever? What if letting him figure it out works?
Well, yeah, I think he should bring his own spin to things. I'm not saying that he shouldn't. I think he should bring his own unique talents to the board, but I think that he should be able to absorb all of those things from those who've already walked the path, to be able to navigate the obstacles ahead a little bit better.
I said you're not wrong. I'm just saying, what if he like, leave me alone?
But if he did, if he took that approach where he's like, hey, I'm just going to do me, then, hey, dude, some of your do me already has not really given a really good impression in the NFL is all I'm saying.
But what did he not do? He made a bet not on football somewhere that he didn't know he shouldn't have did it. All right, cool, but come on.
Well,
now.
and some of his play last year wasn't all of that spectacular either when he did step on the field.
And not to, I don't think he got enough opportunity, but a lot.
He had like 39 snaps and made one touchdown.
A lot less. 39 snaps.
I believe it was 39.
And like 9, however many, I think it was like 8 or 9 targets, right? 11 targets, something real low. Whatever it is. But a lot less was said, and not to compare. I'm not even gonna say his name, but a player that had, coming into the draft up here was like, oh, well, I don't, blah, blah, I don't, it wasn't him, he wasn't involved, blah, blah, all this other stuff. But now it's just so much, oh, he bet, oh, he's so wrong, he's so wrong, he got to get out there and show us something. Y'all was ready to just look the other way, and I'm fine with it too, however. But on somebody, the situation was just a lot different, and then it's just some stuff like this, and oh no. he better show improve. He better show improve. Y'all was ready to spend a draft pick on a dude who already showed y'all that it might not be for him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At least that wasn't Jameson Williams coming in. He didn't show up to a workout and couldn't finish it. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of it was some stuff going on. So,
yeah, I wasn't all. I dropped my thoughts on when you don't show up, because when you're coming up into this level, you need to bring everything you've got into the game. I have high expectations for players. Like if I'm at the top of the league, I better show that I'm at the top of the league, right? If I'm coming into somewhere, I need to take the bull by the horns and step up the ladder to show that I'm the one to watch. You see, that's what I expect out of players. So I'm not writing it. I'm trying to reserve judgment on JMO, even though it's very, very difficult right now because I have said some things. But I am trying to hold my negative opinion about him until he actually, is given a real full chance. But right now, he hasn't done it for me. He just hasn't.
As somebody that was kind of, I won't say against him, but I was critical from the jump, like from the draft. Like I didn't like how he came out when he was standing after he got drafted. Like you said, I don't give if this ain't the team you want to go to. You are in the NFL now, cuz we traded up to get you. Like at least think of it like that. No matter whatever how you feel, you just got drafted. Like somebody liked you enough to trade up. A bad trade in my opinion, but we not counting that right now. But so I was critical of that, right? And whatever, I don't even care because I feel like he's shown me that he want to play football, rather it be here or elsewhere. He want to play football. You can't help where you get drafted. And I don't blame anybody for not wanting to go somewhere where they're drafted. They don't want to go there. I just want him to, if that's how he feels, shut up and play here and then go wherever the fuck you got to go when it's over with. But I feel like we should all just wait and see. Everybody had a wait and see opinion when golf was stinking up the joint. So I feel like y'all should have the same patience for
that's where I'm at with it right now.
With my guy Jameson Williams. Now, if he go out there and the next thing we hear, God forbid, he out here selling pit bull puppies illegally, and they be like, oh, he got to get kicked out the NFL, and I'm like, all right, maybe he got some stuff to really figure out. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that's gonna happen. So wait and figure it out. And at least wait so you won't look so crazy. I'm not speaking to you, but at least wait so you won't look so crazy if he come out and ball out, because you know how that go.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against him, but for me, some of the things that have ticked me against him was I wasn't thrilled with where he was picked in the draft. I don't see the value of him. I was expecting other things to be developed at that point. I mean, I get his speed. It's just, I put more value on catching the ball than I care about you speeding down the field, because you can speed down the field all you want to, like Speedy Gonzalez, but if you don't underlay the ball, who cares? Okay. Right. So that ticked me against him. The injury, I don't like drafting injured players. I've seen, like you were talking about when we was selected for the draft, and certain times during last year, an attitude come out, slight but still noticeable, that just didn't seem to fit well with me. And then now we've got this gambling rule, which is kind of like, it is ticky tack, and it's
very much so. At least in my opinion,
all of these things combined together into this mix of dough that kind of just is not what you really want to see, And so I'm rooting for the guy to actually change that perspective. That's the thing that he's got to do. That's his main focus, is he's got to be able to show the best side of him at this point, because I think any further questionable things is going to put a real damper on his NFL career.
But at least in that, because you're right, but at least let it be something worth questioning. Like I said, like don't let it be,
Right.
oh, he got a girl from Instagram now, but it ain't no Zion stuff. You know what I'm saying? His girlfriend got an OnlyFans, and they go like, oh, look at him now. Look at him. He don't know how to pick a girlfriend. If you know, you know. OnlyFans women is the place to go. And I rammed on purpose, but I don't know anything about.
I don't know
But,
anything about OnlyFans, but
me
it
neither.
might.
Me neither. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. But and I mean the people in real life, not on the internet. But if you're fortunate enough to know any of them, but you got to let it be worthwhile. Like, don't let him. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff going on in Detroit. Don't let him be on the wrong side of town when something terrible happened. It's like, oh, Jameson Williams was 16 blocks away from a horrible accident, and he had on a hat, and the same dude did it had on an opposite hat. Oh my God, look at him now. He's a hoodlum. He's a knucklehead. It's like, all right, man, he didn't do anything again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let it be. If it's gonna be something, God forbid, again. But let it.
Yeah.
Don't start just pointing at. Don't
Yeah.
start nitpicking. Nitpicking is what the
Yeah,
word is.
exactly. And I think it's just the things that have been kind of concerns, but they're not anything that should make him not be an NFL player. It's just but it just keeps adding up, and it's just like, dude, this narrative has got to change, because we don't as content creators don't want to have to keep rehashing all of the stuff over and over again, because now this came out and this came out and this came out.
I tell you what, y'all better hope he do fuck it up. Because if he turn it around and he in a spectacular, I'm not gonna shut up. I'm warning you now.
Hey, I've been there before. I have not shut up about the mother effers that we're talking about. Any quarterback would be better than Stafford. That's one for my crop. But I get it. We've got Brian Stover in the building. We've got John Gappler in the building, and we got our buddy PC Payload that says the Queenie Pooh and LL2. And we on Top Doe 100 is up in the building as well. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. We got to share that content. Start sharing on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I don't care.
I didn't post it today. My apologies, guys.
We got to get more people up in our Prowl Nation family, definitely, of course. And make sure you go check out Lion Station Unite. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff, with them. They've got a cool new Facebook group. There's a lot of activity going on, so you'll find a lot of us and a lot of other Lions creators there as well. So make sure you check them out. Now, okay, we've got a little bit of time, and so let's bring in this topic real quick. There's talk that there is a linebacker battle in training camp to watch.
I love it.
Now, we've got Anzalone, we've got Barnes, we've got Rodriguez, we've got the newest addition, Jack Campbell, and Jalen Reeves-Maybin. Campbell is the odds-on favorite to start next to Anzalone at Kansas City, but no official decision has been made yet.
Who'd you say?
Jack Campbell.
I heard. Go ahead, finish.
Okay, so he is, but there's no official decision. Now, this is what Calvin Shepard had to say, who's going to handle the pass rush this year. This is what he said about the Jack Campbell decision that he has to make regarding this.
We are doomed. What that news you just said, we are doomed.
We are okay. This is regarding the official decision that he has to make, according to Jack Campbell. Okay, he says, my players know. I think the reason they're at peace with whatever outcome may be at the end of this deal is because they've been given clarity since day one. Y'all are going to compete. It's proven here. I know it's the right thing to say, but it is. Prove it. We're going to play the best players. We do not care what that looks like. And when that starts top down, it's easy for me to walk into my linebacker room after we take a guy, pick 18, because in probably 20 other rooms, that player is starting. And there is nothing you can do about it as a position coach. That's not the case here. If Jack isn't the top 2 or 3, Jack will continue to go through the process of rookie development until he's hit that mark. That's why it's hard for me to speak on what it might be, what it will be. We haven't even put on pads yet. And the position I coach, it all starts there. Jack Campbell needs to prove himself in training camp that he, in order to be able to start, he's got to be the top 2 or 3 guy. Okay, that's basically what Kelvin Shepherd is saying. But that isn't the biggest battle going on from reports that are being talked about. Who do you think the biggest battles? Who is the battle between each other?
Well, I've heard that it's between Jack Campbell and Barnes. And Barnes and Anzalone right now has been the starting tandem. I've been calling for this for a while. I think maybe this is just a plan, like you said, their rookie development. Maybe they just been waiting for him to show it. From reports, he's showing it now, and I love it. Like I said, the perfect name for a linebacker, nickname for a linebacker is Pack a Punch, and that's dope as hell to me. I know a lot of guys were saying he should go back to his natural position of playing outside linebacker. That wasn't his natural position. They just blitzed him a lot from that position. He played the middle, and I think he's going to be a very good middle linebacker for us. He plays well for us whenever he gets some time. We talk about it all the time, on the show and stuff like that. We pointed out. I've mentioned his name 100, well, not 100 times, but a lot of times. So, I'm expecting for that to be the starting linebackers now, and that's like you said, 2 or 3. So, in times where we have 3 of them, maybe it'll be. And I think Coach Mike might have called this out. I think he might have said Rodrigo playing one of the outside linebackers, but I think we'll replace Barnes. So the 3 will be Anzalone, Barnes, and Jack Campbell. Because even though I guess Jack Campbell is on somebody's highlight tape looking foolish, I think he's still a good linebacker, but you just got to limit to where he's at. Like Coach Mike used to point out, like cutting the field. You know what I'm saying? If it's 2 linebackers, you're cutting it in half. If it's 3 linebackers, you're cutting it in thirds. If he can't maybe move that well on somebody that can move well, cut it in thirds, and I feel like he could play a third of the field better than he ever could a half of a field. So, maybe that's his role.
Well, you came close, but you didn't quite get it. The actual intriguing linebacker battle for training camp is Rodriguez versus Barnes. Now, Rodriguez has been out with an undisclosed injury this offseason. Dan Campbell has said that it's nothing serious. They're just taking the necessary precautions, okay? But if you look at the statistics here with Rodriguez versus Barnes, Rodriguez will have to fight for this linebacker position. He was ranked 52 with Barnes being last year, with Barnes being right behind him in that ranking. Rodriguez was ranked 40th against the run and 4th among rookies. He had 87 tackles, 8 for loss, 3 quarterback hits with 1 sack and 1 forced fumble, and has been more consistent than Barnes. But Barnes has been showing up and showing out in OTAs and the mini camp. So there could be a very interesting battle of who's going to look better in training camp, Rodriguez or Barnes. So who would you put your money on? You root for Barnes?
And this ain't nothing against Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo's still going to be a good linebacker, but I think it's going to be Barnes and Anzalone as the starters. It'd be dope if it could be Barnes and Rodrigo as starters, if need be, because I feel like that's going to be hard on whoever's in front of them guys, because both of them going to be slapping. I can't even, because Anzalone was out there slapping people around last year, man. I also want to provide some clarity. My comments on We Are Doomed when they said Calvin Shepherd is going to be in charge of the pass rush. I don't trust Calvin Shepherd as long as his dreads is. And I think he might have cut him, so maybe that's a bad reference. So I'll take that back if he did cut him. But I don't fucking trust Calvin Shepard. Wasn't it his call on using spies when he was just getting ran all the fuck around? And we should have used a spy. You know what I'm saying? All this other stuff. So I don't trust that guy. I don't trust him, and not for that.
But Calvin Shepard and Dan Campbell was singing his praises, talking about he could be an assistant head coach.
I don't care. I don't care what Hulk Hogan got to say.
I think Calvin Shepard really didn't have the talent to work with. I kind of like him. I think I like him more than I do Aaron Glenn for definite sure. But I think he's got some proven yet to do for me.
Really?
I am not an Aaron Glenn fan.
Not even. I think all need to be said because I questioned some stuff that was going on with Aaron Glenn too, and I'm not saying that his slate is clean, but something that proved me and what they call in different businesses is proof of concept. It showed me what it could be once it was alleged, at least once Aubrey Pleasant was let go and he started to make some calls and started to coach up some guys. Our defense took a dramatic turn. That's all that need to be said about me. And wasn't no motherfucking Calvin Shepard. God damn it. Because it was Calvin Shepard for what everybody could RPO our ass. Because he wouldn't put a spell on nobody. So I don't trust Calvin Shepard because of that on the pass rush.
I'm willing to give Calvin Shepard a little more. I want to see what he does with this level of talent because I don't think he's had that fair of a level of talent we had to work with.
You're right.
And now he does it. So I'm going to give that. So I know we're going to go a little over today, guys, but that's okay. We've got all this great, interesting conversation. PC Payload says that Shepard proved with Malcolm that nobody gets a free pass based on their draft position. Don't be surprised if someone you like rides the bench. I think, there's a lot of potential in that linebacker room. So we'll see how things go. And Brett DeWitt says, I heard Barnes was balling out in OTAs. Not sure who starts, but the best thing about this is that I haven't seen this much depth in years.
There you go.
Jazzy One says, you got to put on those pads to make a difference in competition.
Yeah, because right now it's just been a pajama party. So you're right.
Yeah, PC is saying that he believes that Malcolm has an arm injury. All I heard was that it was an undisclosed injury. So I have not seen any official, conversation about what that actual injury is. And it's going to be Barnes's speed versus Malcolm's tackling agility. I'm rooting for Barnes in this matchup. Honestly,
Barnes be slapping people too now.
Yeah, because Barnes was Jim's guy. I think that we would root together as a Prowl Nation family for Barnes. I mean, it's not that I don't like Rodrigo, but that Cowboy stuff. I mean, I'm in Texas, but still, that Cowboy still gotta go, bro. I'm just done with it. Okay.
What happened?
Him and the Cowboy stuff.
Yeah, Rodrigo. Right. At least he wear Carhartt.
True. We haven't done this in a while, Prowl Nation family, but I do want to do something really quick, and I want to recognize because we've been skipping on that, and it's not fair to y'all. But I want to recognize those of you that are on the Wall of Fame. We've got our bronze members. We got D313XP who on top though. Dan Spanos, Jomo, Bob Krasowski, Brian Stover, Ranting Q, Latino Leo. Gracious if I could talk, y'all. Crystal Wiley, Detroit Drew. Our silver members are Cap Ice Cold, Kirkland Pratt, and Dale. And our gold members are Dominique Davis, Paul Giroux, John Martin, Leonora Dispagia, Michael Lewis, Justin the D. Oops. Well, yeah, cut me off, boy. Larry McQuiston, Tornado, North End Ken, and Mike, the reliable one, Michael Hutt. Now, I do want to say this real quick, and then we're going to go into our final thoughts. I'm going to give the floor to LL in just a second. But I know that, we've lost a lot of Prowl Nation family, over the course of the past few years. There's been a lot of changes to this channel. Some of our family may have had loyalties to certain people, whether it be Kurt or Jim or Coach Mike or whatever, or other things have happened in their lives and they felt the need to move on because those changes those things weren't here, and it's all good. There's nothing but love here as a Prowl Nation family. We wish everyone the best, no matter what decisions they make. But I do want to give a special shout out to all of those of you that have been ride or die since day one. If you know me, you know one of my biggest things is love and loyalty. So even though I may not express it as much, those of you who have shown that loyalty, who have stuck with us from day one, in and out, week after week, no matter what changes have happened on this channel, you guys hold a very, very special place in my heart. I cannot express how much love that I have for you. And, just know that you hold like the world of sea, because a lion is only as good as its pack. And you guys have continued to prove what the Prowl Nation family is about, and adopt the values of the Prowl Nation family, and have continued to move Jim's vision forward each and every episode. So you guys are the cream of the crop, and you all rock, and I can't love you enough. So with that being said, LL, do you got any final thoughts for today?
Yes, and very eloquently put. Thank all of y'all, man. For whatever reason, if you're here, if you're back, however it go, man. Thank y'all, man. Thank everybody. Thank everybody, all of y'all. Especially my main man Kurt and my dog Coach Mike, and always for that main Jim. But shout out to everybody that was in the chat today. Brian Stover, I just want to show everybody love, because we didn't necessarily might not have got to him, but Brian Stover, yes, we do agree a lot. Brent DeWitt, if you're betting, I'm only going to answer this if you give me $5 from your bet. But I think we'll get exactly one pick from Mahomes on that opening night. What up, though? 100, or we on top, though? 100. What's that, man? Glad to see you here as well. And shout out to everybody else, man. I think that was it. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Happy Wednesday. Go get you some $1.25 conies, or never mind. I'm about to make a bad OnlyFans joke, but thank y'all again.
Put some hot dogs in those buns. Okay, I'll make the joke for you.
No, it was it's just like it's just like many other women, very attractive women in the world. They're just people too. You just talk to them. They're nice. Just because they got an OnlyFans don't mean they're alien or nothing. They might like you and buy you a hat or something.
Yeah, and Kurt, we know you're still here. You're one of our love. It's always family. There's nothing that can separate us. And so any of my comments wasn't directed to you, bro, because we know you're loyal as AF. Okay, but so I just want to say, I appreciate you all. We're gonna be ready to rock for Free for All Friday at 7:00 now. I know the time change has been difficult. We might move the times around over the next couple of weeks and see how things work. But for right now, we're going to keep it at 7:00 on Friday. So we hope you join us there. And remember to, be the best version of yourself, because you all show that what it's like to really be a part of one pride, and just continue to keep doing you, Boos. So until next time, we love you, Jim, and get ready to roar.